Upcoming class tuning on January 23rd, and let me tell you, it's buffs across the board for almost everybody. So it's time to big dick helicopter dick your way through the end of this expansion because Blizzard's about to buff everybody's numbers pretty big in a major way. Here they are. Let's go through a couple of them real quick. It looks like Death Knight for Blood, 80% strength rather than 70% will be given to your Bone Shield. Frost damage, all damage dealt will increase by 4%. Unholy, all increased by 4% as well. And this is not just Death Knight. I mean, across the board, people are getting massive buffs. Look at Druid here. Rip damage, 10%. Rake periodic damage, 5%. Primal Wrath, 10%. Feral Frenzy, 5%. Lunar Inspiration, 10%. Rampant Ferocity, 25%. Massive buffs across the board for Feral. Restoration, we got a bunch of increases as well. Swift Men, 1.4. Grove Guardian, 1%. These are all decreased costs in mana. Look at this. 4% now 3.8. 3.2 now 2.8. Awesome stuff for Druids. Getting some big buffs here. Hunter, damage increased across all abilities. For Hunter's pet abilities, 4%. Hunter and Hunter pet abilities. Big buffs. Paladin, Shield of Righteous damage. Where's Cadence right now? Increased by 30%. Consecration damage, increased by 30%. Retribution, massive buffs. Look at this, increased by 20%. This is not just a little bit, freaking a fifth. What the hell? This is even more than a fifth. Truth's Wake, 28% buff. Seeking Seething Flame, 28%. Blade of Justice, 20%. Final Verdict, 10%. Huge freaking buffs for Red Paladin. That's the biggest buffs probably we've seen out of any of these classes yet. And even Holy, my god, man. 30% buffs. Check out Priest. Look at this. Increases of 25, 25, 15, 30, 30, and 15 to all their abilities. What the hell? Shadow, too. 10, 10, 20. My god. And Inflict, a 30% buff was 25. Look at this stuff. Again, Restoration. 5, 20, 20, 20. Buffs across the board for Restoration Shaman. Warrior is the final one here. Cleave damage increased by 10%. Dreadnought damage 30%. Deep Wounds 15%. Amir Drasil 4-set bonus was triggered with Thunderclap. Increases by 200%. Was 100. Jesus. My god, this is crazy stuff. Vanguard 40%. And Ignore Pain, 5%. Huge buffs across the board. These buffs, there's also a bunch of PvP stuff in here if you want to read this article. I'll link it in the chat and have it down below the YouTube video too. What is up? Good morning, Helena. But yeah, Ret Pally got some massive ones. A bunch of buffs for a bunch of classes. This is really nice to see. Especially when you get towards the end of an expansion. It's just time to really go big or go home. Yeah, Blizzard's going big on a couple of classes here. Manuscript of the Endless Possibility. If you know what this is or you don't know what it is, I'll tell you right now. So basically, this comes from the Dragon Riding event, the Dragon Racing event that currently exists in Outland. If you do it all, you can get this Manuscript of Endless Possibility, which basically allows you to summon your Dragon Riding dragon, but it randomizes its appearance every time you summon it. So you get a different looking dragon every time. It's kind of cool. It's a neat thing. Well, Blizzard just retroactively made it account-wide. So there you go. You don't have to do all the races on every character. Once you have it, people were voicing their concerns about it. Blizzard listened. And now any character who has the Manuscript of Endless Possibility purchased before our change will automatically be given the toy to all your other characters. So there you go. The Manuscript of Endless Possibilities is now account-wide. Once you get the big boy, you get it on all your characters, which is pretty cool. Okay, 10.2.5, we did the quest line, we did everything, retaking Gilneas and all that. It was fine. Nothing too exciting, but it was fine. There's a bunch of stay a while and listens. If you don't know what these are, you haven't done them before, they're little chat bubbles that come up after the quests, and you can get some interesting lore tidbits out of some of them. So I did a few of these live when we were doing this on Twitch, but I also missed a few. So let's chat a little bit about some of these and what they mean. So if you don't know, Viranath is now one of the aspects. She's sitting up there with the others right here, just chilling in her massive form. This is a pretty cool form she has, honestly. But if you talk to her, she has now the name Aspect of the Storms. When you ask her why she has that name, she said, "It is a title I chose myself for many reasons. Blessed by Azeroth, our world's primal fury now courses through me, relentless as a hailstorm. howling with frozen winds. I stand as well for the Thoragnir and the Netherwing and the storms they call home. And finally, I sought to honor my fallen sister one final time, Razageth, the Storm Eater, who gave me the gift of freedom, one that I will share with all of dragonkind. Yeah, it's touching. We did kill Razageth. It probably messed up, honestly, what we did to her. But it's pretty cool. She honors, if you don't know, the Thoragnir are the dragons out in, what's it called? The zone, Netherstorm. It's the Viking zone out there where Valhalla is and stuff like that. What up? What is up, Igaja? Yeah, so there's those dragons, and then there's the Netherwing dragons, of course. So out from the Outlands and all that. Very cool. Nice little name for her. But there's other tidbits that were actually voiced through completely. So let's take a moment to listen to some of these. This was the one, a very interesting one, about Anduin, between Matthias Shaw and Greymane.
You're certain it was him?
My agents and Ratchet confirmed it. He was seen buying supplies.
Why Kalimdor? Why wouldn't he return home to Stormwind?
I don't know, but he was traveling south. Must have noticed my people on his tail. He lost them in the Barrens.
South? What could he be after?
We know where he's
Send
going.
word to Jaina. She'll want to know where he's headed.
You don't want to go after him yourself?
If he's staying away, he must have his reasons. We need to trust him.
Should I inform Lord Commander Turalian?
This part was interesting to me.
No. Not until we know more. Let's keep this quiet, Spymaster.
It will be done, King Greymane.
The interesting part to me is why they didn't want to tell Turelian. Like I said, I feel like some people are starting to realize Turelian might be have a few screws loose when it comes to leadership. But we all know where he's going. This is basically foreshadowing the fact that we know he's going to Silithus. He's going to the big sword in the ground. And that's where the cinematic leads up to where Thrall eventually finds him and talks to him. This was another interesting one. This one I missed, actually, where Kalecgos and Khadgar have a little conversation here. Let's check this one out.
Impeccable timing, champion. Khadgar should be arriving shortly.
My ears are burning, Kalik. To what do I owe the honor?
Bittersweet news, I'm afraid. Khadgar, I have chosen to step down from the Council of Six. My duties as Aspect must take precedence. I'm needed in Valdrakken far more than in Dalaran.
Is that all? Forgive me, but that hardly comes as a surprise.
Khadgar's like, what are you
I
talking about,
suspected
bitch?
as much when you asked to speak with me.
So, you do not think ill of me for relinquishing my position?
Perish the thought. Your family comes first, Kalik. I could never fault you for that. Though, I do have a request to make of you.
Oh, shit, what is it?
Artifact Rivicron took from the Forbidden Reach.
Oh, shit.
The one he handed over to this mysterious Harbinger. Dalaran's libraries hold precious little information on it. Given Malygos' history with Neltharion,
You hope that I might have better luck scouring the Azure archives. Consider it done, old friend. I will share all the information I can find.
thank you, Kalik. Strange,
I
isn't it?
didn't know this one.
The Kirin Tor and the aspect of magic working hand in hand.
It's a new age, one we will face together. Us, the Council, and whoever replaces me.
Rest assured we will fill your vacant seat. But no one could ever replace you.
Touching.
Farewell for now, Kalecgos. Be it here, Dalaran, or Karazhan, I look forward to our next reunion.
Very cool. Yeah, so this one gets straight into the new lore, right? So this one's Khadgar asking about the Dark Heart. He's asking about the Dark Heart, the one that they have Iridikron used to get Galakron's essence. And now, I mean, they all know the name the Harbinger. That's how they're referring to Xal'atath now. So it's interesting that he's looking into what this thing is about. What is this Dark Heart? What is it going to be used for? And who is the Harbinger? That's the kind of stuff he was asking about. And who's going to replace Kalecgos? Didn't Jaina also leave the council back when the Horde were brought into down? Was she ever re-invited back? I don't think so. So it's interesting to think about. I wonder if the person they're going to bring back is Jaina or some new mage that we haven't heard of yet in the game. Maybe some mage that we haven't met yet. Or maybe one of the Drakthir. Maybe they bring a Drakthir in there. They don't have any Scaly Boys on the council yet, and they can't be mages. Oh, but maybe they teach them to be mages. Who knows? Because right now they can only really be evokers. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Moving on to this one, the conversation of the Drakthir.
Honor, my dear friends, so much has happened since we awoke in our creches.
For you, most of all.
Sounds
I
good,
think.
King Julian.
I am at peace.
After everything you endured, Emberthal, are you...
I will ever remember the names of those who were lost. But I have found new purpose in leading the Ebon Scales. And what about each of you?
At first, I was skeptical whether we Drakthir would be a good fit for the Horde. But I have grown fond of them. And they of us. My favorites are the Volpera. Feisty little squirrels.
Volpera.
Oh, whatever they are.
Likewise, the Alliance has formally offered us a place in its ranks. Its members are brave and noble, worthy of our allegiance. I believe Lord Commander Turalyon has come to admire our discipline. He appreciates skilled soldiers.
Yeah, I'm sure he
When
appreciates
we
soldiers.
emerged
Alright.
into this new age, we did not know who we could trust. Now we have many allies, both in the mortal kingdoms and among the dragons.
Including a new Earth Warder, who won't lock us away for millennia. Probably.
Assuming you behave yourself, Syndra.
Now what fun would that be?
Come, friends. There is so much that awaits us. In the Dragon Isles and beyond.
Interesting. I didn't see this one. Maybe you have to be a Drakthir to actually see this one. But they're just talking about rejoining the Alliance and the Horde and all that, and how that stuff's going down for them. And evidently this dragon likes Volpera. I don't know what's wrong with her, but that's the case. Okay, final one here is Rathian. Our boy Rathian and Mr. Sibelian. And their final conversation about the Black Dragon flight and their we know they had a love-hate relationship. They had that very strange sexual tension going on most of the time. Just kidding, of course. But let's see what they say at the end.
Rathian, Abyssian mentioned that you will soon depart from the Isles.
I didn't take you as one who engaged in gossip, Sibelian.
Does
Still
he
the
speak
banter.
true?
He does. Iridikron may be lying low, but he still poses a significant threat to Azeroth. I will coordinate the Black Talon's efforts to track him down. Even Iridikron can't evade them forever.
Indeed. I must admit, your agents have impressed me far more than I expected.
Come,
With
let us lay waste to this realm.
Tundra Freeze Oz. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge. Tundra, what happened in your account?
Never placed much stock in mortals beforehand. You have quite the way with their kind.
I suppose I do. My time in the Dragon Isles was a grand adventure, but not the homecoming I'd hoped for. I've often felt that I share more in common with mortals than with dragons, and feared that I belong among neither. I thought that here, in the land of my ancestors, I'd find something I was lacking.
Touching.
That by becoming an aspect, I could prove who and what I truly am. If not to the world, then at least to myself. But I see now that I never had anything to prove. My place is among both mortals and dragons. That is my strength, not my failing. It's who I am. Who I've always been.
Well said. You walk a path I never could, Rathian. Take pride in it. And should that path lead you back to the Dragon Isles, I hope it does feel like a homecoming.
We shall see. Thank you, brother.
Well said. Nice conversation between the two of them. Yeah, you know what I wonder is, Rathian, he made it his life's mission, basically, to find the Dragon Isles for quite a while, and he realized at the end of the day that he was already home, right? He knew a bunch of people in Azeroth, and those were his people, really. And he has a good relationship with Anduin. If you remember, Anduin and him, throughout Mists of Pandaria, were like butt buddies. So I wonder if he's going to be part of what brings Anduin back, if he's going to find Anduin again. I'd like to see them interact with each other at some point in the War Within. That'd be nice. Sam's giggles like a little schoolgirl. Yeah, because you said, Sam is going to become an aspect. He can be the aspect of baldness and scuffiness. Yeah, I appreciate that, Moishi. I really do. Yeah, you made me chuckle. These were interesting. I liked a lot of them. I think the most interesting of them all is definitely the one between Greymane and Matthias Shaw, especially the way they talk about Turellian. I think that's going to come back at some point. But very cool stuff. Nice little lore tidbits there.